do not want to ruin some of your gorgeous makeup looks because you guys have worked so hard on them today. You're more than welcome to use the same products on the face chart in front of you, so you don't have to use the same things on your face if you worked really hard on your face today, so you have an option. Equally, if you want to still do it on your skin, feel free to do it on your arm or something or the other, or don't do it at all. That's totally fine. If you're just here for the vibes, so are we. All right, so I think with that, we'll get started, shall we? All right, okay. Let's start with some introductions. So why don't you go ahead and start, Tiff?
Hello. So I'm Tiffany. I have been doing makeup for about, I want to say 7 years, which really shows my age. And yeah, I really like just being creepy, wandering around the house, staring at anyone in there. And yeah, my dog mostly, but she seems unfazed, unfortunately. I can't content farm her, unfortunately.
No, probably seen too much already.
Yeah, she's traumatised.
So some of you guys might recognise Tiff from being a contestant on Glow Up Season 1.
Thank you.
Daylight Robbery, if you saw that episode, but we won't get into it. And those of you who are unfamiliar with me as well, my name is Mel, M-Cross07. I like to classify myself as the extreme makeup athlete. I've completed over 1,000 makeup and body paint looks thus far. I'm delusionally optimistic when it comes to making headpieces and trying to defy gravity, and I will die on the hill that it is teeth brush and not toothbrush. But alas, with that, let's get started, because I know we have to start a little bit later today. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through, here's some of the content that we're going to go through today, just to help you guys get started with everything. But there's no point lingering on here, so let's start off with some different types of makeup. We'll do an education portion first. Alright, cool. So, for the different types of makeup, Tiff and I also have our own preferences, and we don't use the same stuff, despite the fact that we kind of have the same job. We use different products. I'm pretty sure that Tiff is going to be like, I don't know how you do it, and I'm sat here like, I don't know how you do it. So what I like to use is what we're using today, which is water-activated paint. So for this, you'll need water, and you'll use like a spray bottle or something, and you use that to lift the paint. If you think similar to like watercolor paintings, it's that kind of vibe. I use this one the most. Traditionally, when I'm using all of my body paints, that's all done with water-activated paints and eyeshadows, and I just find it really easy to blend. I think it's great that I can quickly lift it off, etc. And it just comes off with water as well, so it comes off with a shower. If I just stand in the shower, it's not going to come off that well, so you do have to give it a little bit of a scrub, and then you're good to go. But that's how water-activated paint is, and how it works, and it's sometimes also called aqua paints.
So there is cream, which is my favourite, because I'm a little bit of a water-activated hater, mostly because I cannot get the coverage I need to cover all my tattoos. I am a big fan of Clown White, which is like a very thick white cream base. So if you want the most perfect white base, I would definitely recommend that. It is waterproof as well, so if you're as sweaty as I am, especially if you're streaming, working under certain lights, if you're not using LED and you have actual bulb lights like me, because I'm ancient, it gets rather warm, so that is my favourite because it is more long-lasting. However, very difficult to remove in the shower.
Yes. Yes, it is. Then we've also got alcohol.
So this is mostly used in TV and film, and this just does not move at all. If you thought cream wasn't coming off, this definitely isn't. You usually have to use actual alcohol, not the kind you drink, although I'm sure that will work too, to remove this. So they will use it to create texture, veins. So if you're watching things like Game of Thrones, Last of Us, they will all be using alcohol paints on set because they are sweat-proof, rubber-resistant, literally so hard to get off. But one of my favourite products to work with, and if you literally just take a toothbrush, you can just flick it onto your skin and create like a skin-like texture. A lot of fun, very easy.
Yeah, another example I think you can also do is like, think of Gamora, she runs a lot.
Yes.
And that would come off if she was using any kind of like cream or water-activated paint. So in that instance, as you can probably now imagine, they're using an alcohol-based paint because that's not coming off for anyone. So while we've also touched upon some parts of the makeup which is probably quite difficult to get your hands on because it can be a little bit expensive, what we also wanted to touch upon was some more affordable options because makeup is expensive, and no, you do not need to buy the most expensive Tarte concealer to be able to cover up your under eyes. And so we just wanted to get the idea of like how you can start with doing creative makeup too. So these options do work. Now,
I think in the UK we don't really have a good word for drugstore, but like, like drugstore makeup have really improved over the past few years. I think personally it definitely improved during the cosmetics boom that happened before COVID, where we all went a little bit crazy, buying a lot of makeup. But since then, a lot of the drugstore makeup has definitely improved, and a lot of them do have quite a lot of pigments. So I recommend trying to see what you can get that's quite cheap, because a lot of the time you can also make it work.
And also, if you're going to be destroying that makeup, you can also use eyeshadows in creative ways. When I first started, I had like no money. I was mixing eyeshadows with water or like setting spray, and that can actually create paint. So sometimes you can just get creative with it. It's not necessarily about having the most crazy, amazing, expensive kit. It's just how you use what you've got and how you utilise it.
Yes, and so what we've got on here is, as well, that's a cream-based makeup palette that says Athena on there. That one is available to buy on Amazon, and quite a lot of people and creators on Instagram use that one. You might see that palette starting to be popped up, etc., from other people's places, from other people's videos. That's the one they're using, and I think for me it was it like 30 quid?
I think it's cheaper than that. I think it might be 17. I have it, and I think it was 17 Great British pounds.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the conversion. I'm really failed maths.
But it's pretty cheap and it lasts a long time. And so, for instance, if you're looking at that light, there's no colours that I would really need. This one, you can mix them all together. So something like that is a really good place to start. The only thing that you're going to need is a translucent powder. You cannot use like a beige makeup setting powder for that one. Make sure you pick up a translucent powder because you need to set it with that one. But that's a really affordable way to get started into doing what we're doing. And you can apply that with a sponge, you can apply that with a paintbrush. It probably would be a little bit easier to apply it with a sponge, but I wouldn't necessarily box yourself in to feel like you have to buy all these new products just to get started on trying something. But I mean, that comes down to what we're doing today. I wanted to really make sure that you guys got some free products and some tools, etc., because makeup is expensive, so we just wanted to make sure that you guys had some stuff that you could take home in case you found today that you love it. Or I mean, you could do it today and think, I hate that, I'm never doing that again. And that's fine too. I genuinely don't mind, as long as you guys get the opportunity to try. That's what's most important. So, good places to start. How did you? I know what's coming up.
Like, it's going to look very extreme. It's just something simple, easy, natural, you know? So, these are places where we would like to start. Like, personally, they look intimidating, they look much scarier than they are. And obviously, your first attempt probably won't look like this. Your second, your third, or your fourth, unless you just happen to be amazing at it straight away, then I'm extremely jealous, because mine certainly did not. So I think clowns, pop-art zombies, I think we both put on there. We didn't actually discuss what looks we were going to put on here, and we happened to obviously have one shared brain cell. Never had an original thought. So pop-art zombies are great because if you just use two contrasting colours, you can just use any design you want. You can do full face, you can have a little bit of glam, like we've kept here, and the Mel's also done like a full body one, which is insane. And no matter how poorly you draw those, it's all interpretive. It's just like, it's the same as like drawing art, do you know what I mean? So you can't really go wrong with that.
No, I think the most important key thing as well is that if you want to look at a pop-art zombie, what rules? There's no rules. So it's really important that we feel like you start with something that is a lot more achievable and that is really customizable. So what you can see is the clowns, you can see skulls, and you can see pop-art zombies, but you can also see, as some of these are half-face pieces, do not ever feel like you have to do the whole face. I mean, I know that's rich coming from me, who will painted my toes before, but I don't want to get into that today. But overall, you can start with something a lot less, and you still have amazing contrast with it, and it's still a lot of fun. So please don't ever feel like you have to do so much in one go. You can see that you can still get striking looks from these as well. But when it comes to things like skulls, clowns, and pop-art zombies, what's really important about those is that they are so customizable. I've done one at the bottom here that looks like the Joker. You've done one which is so patchy in so many different colours. It's really colourful. You've done another one which looks a bit more like it could be a tattoo. And that one doesn't have, from what I can see apart from the highlights, like really any white paint. So there's so many ways that you can take these style of makeup looks and then make them whatever you want them to be. Skulls are really great because you can literally poke your own face and be like, that's where the cheekbone is. So you have some kind of template to start with. And then when it comes to clowns, as horrifying as they can be for some people, if you think about the design of the latest Pennywise from the latest It, you know exactly which clown and which iteration of that clown it is by drawing 2 lines on your face. So while I'd love to just die over the makeup artist who came up with that, you can see how you could do that in different colours. You could do a Harley Quinn version and they know full well what it is. So there's so many different ways that this can be really customizable. You guys can't see it, but I can see it.
So, this is little me. I'd like to give you how many years, but that would reveal my age. Quite some time ago, I was 13, so probably over 15 years ago, is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, just 3 years ago, you know. And I actually went into my mum's makeup bag and stole her Avon, if anyone knows what that is, a bit of a relic. I don't know if anyone's still using that.
I don't know if it still exists.
Does it not?
I don't know.
Oh, if it does, I want to do a full face of it again. My mum was not very happy because I used the last of her white eyeshadow, all of her eyeliner, and I think I used to create the fake blood. I'll put in air quotes. That's what it's supposed to be, by the way. I think that's her favourite lipstick, which I also finished off. So, very humble beginnings. As you can see, I really thought I ate with that. You can see the little twinkle in my eye, I'm smizing. Obviously, I've been watching a bit of America's Next Top Model. Wouldn't make a very good model, but and also the last time I saw my natural hair colour, this is a bit of a shock actually. Might surprise you to know this doesn't grow from my head naturally. And this is my most recent skull, or my most favourite, and it's like a prosthetic piece. It took me 10 hours, the chest is body painted, I handmade the heart. The headpiece I can't take credit for because my skills do not lay in that place, unlike Mel, who can just literally do anything if she thinks hard enough, which I don't think. But as you can see, do not think, oh my god, my first attempt doesn't look like this person you've seen online. I think we had the luxury of when we first started that it was online, but it isn't quite as in your face. And
online was like NTL broadband.
Yeah, like dial-up, yeah, we are ancient. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't quite as intimidating, I think. I think it can be really scary to step into this sort of area right now, just because you're just faced with pure perfection. Not that sounded like I was really too right at home there.
Oh no.
Just obviously this is perfect. But yeah, you've got to start somewhere. Humble beginnings, guys.
And so for mine, this was where I started. This is the earliest photo I could find, and I look at that and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know what theme I was thinking of here. But as you can see, the next one, I'm like, damn, I'm going to put these prosthetics on. I 3D printed some spider body. I did all of these little bits to it. I rhinestoned it and suffered with that. But overall, you can see that we both started somewhere. And well, this is where we began. You've had Tip, who's been a finalist on a TV show for doing makeup, and I've been absolutely graced with being Twitch ambassador and being put on the opening ceremony today for just doing makeup. So even if you feel like the first thing that you do looks like our ones, which is obviously the early iteration, just at least know that, it's practice. I promise you it's practice. Every time you see somebody comment something like, oh, but you're just so talented, I think sometimes I can see that there's a great intention behind that, but we sometimes forget that it does take away from the years of practice that we're both dedicated to this.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad thing to say, but I think sometimes people kind of forget. You absolutely can do that. I wholeheartedly think you can. You just need to put the hours into practice, and I think practicing to do some kind of makeup skill or some kind of skill in general, whatever you choose to do, is just investing time into yourself. And not to get too dark, but sometimes I think now, especially in the world that we live in, that's probably one of the most important things that you can do. And don't ever feel like you need to be posting stuff on social media as well, just because you see other people do it. Make sure you do stuff that you find fun. If you really enjoy doing Warhammer minis, who says that you have to enter them into competitions, etc.? You can just enjoy those. I do have a couple more photos.
Again, this is very young me, and again, thought I ate quite literally with this look. I very much enjoyed it. It was my profile picture for a full 5 years on Facebook.
5 years?
It got 3 likes, and the boy I fancied in school was not swayed by this. Shockingly, did not ask me to prom. Not bitter about it at all. And this is one of my most recent looks. As you can see, I kind of stepped up. I learned composition, colour, these things all kind of come into play, and these things are things you'll kind of pick up naturally on the way. You will not, I mean, unless you are already an incredibly talented artist, which I'm sure some of you are. I think a lot of things are transferable. If you're a painter or a drawer or an artist, I think even if you can paint a Warhammer miniature, I think that's a transferable skill. I would argue. I think so. I would argue so.
I think so. Here's our last one for today. So the one on the other side, I mean, people have told me that they thought it was pretty nice, but I mean, I look at it and I'm like, it genuinely looks like it's been made out of some scrap metal heat. I don't know why there are so many pieces of metal that I put on that side. But again, like I had no idea and I was just having fun with it, and that's important. But as time has gone on, I've learned things a little bit more, like things that make a little bit of sense. So I can understand now that like when it goes around the eye, the cheekbone might have been one sheet of metal, but then if I was going to have like a jawline, it would be made out of like metal, I was going to be some kind of Terminator, there'd probably be some kind of piston that's moving the jaw. So then you can start to think, and these things start to make a little bit more sense, but you're only going to get better at doing things like that the more you do it. And I think that's a really big key thing as well. So we're going to move on to different ways that we prepare for our makeup looks.
I am an anxious Annie, so I like to prepare, oh my gosh, my hair has mine its own. I like to prepare. So if I haven't drawn it out like 10 times before, or made one of these, you know, interesting, very badly drawn face charts that I'll spend a few hours on my iPad fixating on, then when I get to my makeup, I get really stressed. I don't know what products to lay out. Like, I have to like prep it. So these are can't speak. These are some examples of my drawings versus the outcomes. As you can see, the outcomes 9 times out of 10 come out much better. But yeah, my face is very square, so I kind of have to plan a lot of my looks to a face chart. Because when I look at other people, I realise they have things like chins, and their hairline isn't just a straight line. So I have to kind of like think about my facial composure and plan my looks very heavily around that, and then contour even heavier. So these are just things to bear in mind. It really helps it helps me personally to have a face chart that I've drawn over a picture of myself to then plan these looks on.
Yeah, and a face chart is an example of what you have in front of you as well. So while they're not based on your actual face, you can see that that's something that you guys can also use, or if you want to, download one offline, and then you can use that on your iPad if you have one that you can draw on. For me, I don't do anything like that. That's my sketch. I'm going to be honest, it's not the original sketch. And that's because the original sketch was on the back of a bathroom tile, which I then stuck to the wall, so I lost it. It's somewhere in the house, forever preserved. So I recreated it in Microsoft Paint for you guys again, but it looks something like that. I have no preparation. I have a rough idea of what I'm doing, and then I just start painting, because I have this thing where if I start preparing too much, then I start sticking to the face chart a little bit too much as well, and then I kind of like end up being a bit like confused, that things aren't working as well for me. So what I tend to do is I'll make a headpiece, and then I'll be like, that looks really cool. What makeup look am I going to do for it? I haven't got a clue. I have no idea. I'll just make a headpiece because I thought it was great, and I'll do something along the lines of that. And then one day I'll think, I'll go do a makeup look with that, and I kind of figure it out as I go along, and for me that works out better. However, I think this is a really good example of just because one person does something doesn't mean it's going to work for you, so find out what works for you, and that's the most important thing. Okay, cool, so I think we've both spoken a little bit too much. Let's go into the tutorial section, and these are the 2 makeup looks that we're going to be creating today. Feel free to follow along with either of us, and if you want to go ahead and do it on the face chart in front of you, you're more than welcome to. If you don't want to do it on the face chart, but you still want to have a go and you want to do it on your arm or something, you're more than welcome to do that. Complete free reign, and we're gonna talk through how we're both doing this, as we're going to be doing it at the same time. So I'd love to ask if we could have some of the music back on, please, and then let's all just vibe together and do some makeup, shall we?
I'm glad, because otherwise it would just be my heavy breathing. I'm a mouth breather. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Not hook breather, but close enough.
Alright, so you guys will have some brushes in front of you, and you'll have some water as well, that's there too.
Yeah, this is your face paint, by the way, in here, guys, just in case you weren't sure.
Alright, cool, and then so you've got some eyeliners, and you'll have everything that you should need, hopefully.
Ooh, that is on the very zoomed in side, that was humbling.
Alright, so how I'm going to begin How I'm going to begin mine is I'm going to start poking around my face. Now I can see I've got some kind of cheekbone going on here, so I'm going to sketch out roughly what a cheekbone would probably do, and I can feel it. Another great thing as well, you can feel where it is. It sometimes does make it a little bit more dramatic if you want to enhance parts of it. So I like to curve mine round just a little bit more because I think it's really fun. I'm going to bring this part down here and I'm going to start drawing in this line like a jaw. Sorry. Now the next thing I'm going to do before I let Tiff start on hers is I'm going to just draw a really random sketchy line all the way down the middle of my face. Just like that. I'm going to then go in and I think maybe today I don't really want the eyebrow. Let's get rid of it. So I'm going to imagine where this orbital bone is going to end, just around here. I'm going to sketch just around there where it would probably end. You can see where it would probably end because some of us have eye bags.
Just happy next time.
Yeah, I was up at 5:30 this morning. I don't know about you guys. And then I'm just going to curve that round there as well. And then I know I have the temple, it's going to be around here because I can feel that there's a little bit of a dip. And then I think what I'll do before passing over to Tiff is I'm just going to lightly draw in where these teeth are going to be, roughly like that. And I'm going to start off with this basic sketch just like this. So you can see I've mapped out the rough anatomy of a skull. Sorry, I tend to go a little bit quick, it's a problem. And then I'm just going to sketch a little bit out on the nose too. How about you, Tiff?
That's wonderful. I can't even say the word. I work much slower. My brain is also much slower than Mel's. So I'm doing the half skull that's kind of like this, sort of like a bandana effect. So again, I'm just going to start off with like a rough sketch. Please don't judge my drawing ability, even though I did fine art at university. So I'm going to kind of start it from here and then bring it down and kind of follow the shape of my face. And I really like a skull because I can give myself the cheekbones I was not blessed with. And I don't know about you, but I always feel like 10 times prettier in a school makeup. Yes. I don't know why.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't agree more. What I'm doing as well, please don't feel like, oh my god, she's going so fast, I can't keep up. One time I did a panel and I did this dragon makeup and I think I did it in 30 seconds because I was panicking so hard.
In exams. I'm like, why is everyone else still writing? Why?
Exactly, back in school. And another key thing as well, and I think this is really important for you as well, Tiff, to touch upon because, I don't know, I feel like maybe you care about it a little bit more than I do, but I'm not sure if you do. I don't really care too much about which brushes I tend to use, and I know a lot of people panic about which brushes to use. As far as I'm concerned, if you use one and it works, that's the brush that you're going to be using.
No, I agree. I do have an emotional attachment to specific brushes, but I think that's more to do with my childhood and less to do with the actual brushes themselves. So if I lose one brush in particular, I don't remember where it came from. I'm pretty sure I've had it since I was 16. I'm like, where's that brush? Day ruined. But yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as it does the job. Sometimes I've had some really expensive ones and the bristles just fall out, so I'm just like,
Yeah, that's another key point as well. I'll touch upon that in just a second. So everything that would be bone around here, I'm just filling with some white paint. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, we're going to come around at the end. So feel free to ask us the questions then. I'm just going to fill this area now. What you want to do is you want to take the white paint, sorry, you want to take the water and then mix it in until it gives off some pigment. And then just fill those areas in. But touching back upon like which brushes to use, as Tiff has said, sometimes the most expensive brushes that you've ever picked or like you've found are terrible, so don't sweat it too much. I am pretty sure Tiff is the same as me. We pretty much find a bunch of cheap makeup brushes because we're going to cover them in paint anyway. Why do I want to spend money on that?
and sometimes I don't even use makeup brushes. All my face paint brushes are actually just like really cheap arts and crafts brushes.
Absolutely.
Not the really like bristly ones, but like
No, not
the synthetic fibre ones. Big slay, big fan.
Yeah.
Whoever keeps making those for like £2 a pack, keep doing it. Like, I am your biggest fan. And this is like my rough outline. I think that looks about right.
then for me, I'm just going to be using a smaller brush just to fill in the smaller details.
I think the best thing about a skull is that you just have to have like a general idea of like where things go, and it kind of just always looks cool. Like it doesn't have to be like, I was going to say biblically accurate, but I meant scientifically. Biblically accurate?
A biblically accurate skull is not something that was on the cards for today, but I'm pretty sure we can make it work.
This is what I mean.
See,
oh my god, you guys are already painting.
Yeah, maybe it's you.
It is me, I am the problem. Wow. Devil works hard, but everyone else but me works harder, it seems.
Also, just as a note, we were going to get some other makeup pieces today, but unfortunately the shipment got stuck in customs. So that's why we may not have the best pieces today, and so I do want to say I'm so sorry about that. We had some issues with customs. I didn't really fancy driving to the border to go collect them, so this is the last thing that we could get. So thank you for being really understanding about that. I mean, I wasn't focusing on it, but now that you've mentioned it,
I need to move it again. I can just hear myself like.
This is my face.
Yeah, nothing to do with me. Mine would have been like 80s Bonnie Tyler.
I mean, vibes.
Vibes, like heartbroken dad vibes.
Some ballads. We get some ballads in here. But there's a difference. You know what? That's nice. You like Bonnie Tyler and I like Peppa Pig Trap remix.
It's all about balance.
Alright, fantastic. I'm just going to wait for part of this to dry a little bit. Threats happening behind you.
I know. I'm scared. And when it comes to face paint, I think the best thing is just to kind of like rub your brush into the paint, massage it into your brush, and then you get like a much better coverage.
That's a really good tip as well. Sometimes people put a little bit too much water on and then not enough paint, and then they are literally just putting water on their brush. So that's something to note as well. So what I'm also doing while I'm waiting for tip is I'm just taking one of the eyeshadows, and then on the other side where there is a split, I'm taking the edge of one of the makeup brushes that we have, and I'm just so slightly making sure that there is a shadow on that side.
I don't know why I'm being so precious about this, but I can just fill in the blanks.
I do think that you're very protective about every makeup look that you do now.
I should have probably gone anxiety medication.
It's alright, she's just unmedicated.
What if it dulls my sparkle? And don't worry if it is patchy. Again, I should really be great at using white base paint, but it is my enemy. It's my ops. I'm a cream, white base girly. So I'm just trying my best out here, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
And you know if you're going to be somebody who likes using more like cream-based stuff versus paint stuff, because if you feel like it would be better to apply like a foundation, then you're probably going to prefer cream paint. It's a really good way to like just be able to tell. Okay, so what I'm also going to be doing is I'm also going to be taking some of that grey eyeshadow, and then I'm just going to be bringing it and sweeping it underneath where the cheekbone would likely join onto the jawbone, but there would probably be a little bit of shadow, so I imagine that this part here would be pushed further back. And I'm just going to lightly bring that down. This is authentic.
I also go around mics a lot, as you can see. God, keep hearing it.
Hey, one time when I was in San Diego, I did a panel, and it was the biggest panel I'd ever done in my life. It was the San Diego Comic Con, and I unplugged the microphone on stage. And no one knew. I had to share a microphone with somebody else, and no one came to save me. I was mortified.
I love that everyone's like, you've yapped your last yap. That's enough for today.
Alright, so as you can see, just bringing in some of the eyeshadow around here, you'll be able to get some depth into the skull that you're working on. One of my favourite things is, and don't feel like you have to follow exactly what I'm doing, one of my favourite things is to do all the shading first and then fill in the areas with some black paint, and the reason why is because then I don't have to worry about being that neat with shading, so I just paint straight over the top. That's how I get them done so quick.
I think shading just fixes everything. That's how I'm going to hide this really patchy application.
Another point onto that actually as well is sometimes people get a little bit, in my opinion, hung up on not having the perfect white base, but consider, what are you doing on top of this white base? Are you doing loads of shading, or are you going to make it look like you are genuinely a piece of marble? If you want to look like a piece of marble, then yes, the coverage is going to be pretty important. But if you are working on adding so many things to the base, to the white paint on top of it anyway, it's going to be pretty distracting, so you don't need to worry about having the most perfect base ever. You know, it's for real though, when you have like 4 items on your desk and you're looking for one of them and you're like, it's not here.
It's never
You're staring right at it, it's not here. All I'm doing at the moment is I'm just shading around all of the edges around here, just because I want to give it some rounded depth.
And I'm just going to start shading from like the top part of my skull, like the way the white the way the white begins. I don't know why I'm speaking like that Fox's Biscuits advert. What is it? The little creatures like Fox's Biscuits.
I don't know, I just think it's just Fox's Biscuits.
Yeah, I can't even do the accent, which is the weirdest thing. It just comes out of nowhere. But I'm just going to do this shadow to kind of make it look like this is like underneath my skin. So it's just creating an illusion.
I think that's another thing as well, though. A lot of makeup works with illusions, and while you might be like, yes, in this instance, think of contour. That's just using shading and highlighting to give you a bit more of a chiseled face.
Exactly that, which I do probably way too much of, but it's much more forgiving in dark lights, I think. That's where I thrive.
There's a reason why you don't see us outdoors.
Yes, I'm not a day walker. I'm at that gig lighting, which is basically just pitch black. I'm like, oh, I'm at my most beautiful.
Alright, so I'm just adding in some lighter details with the pigment that's already left over on my brush. I think it would be nice to add a little bit up here, as if it's part of my brow bone. I think I'm also just going to add a little shaded part here, as if there's a little bit of a divot in the skull. I've just got some left over on my brush, so why not?
if anyone's old enough to remember when this like half school thing that I'm doing was like a big trend. Was it 2016? They were called like balaclava schools, is that right?
Oh my god, stop with that, because I remember doing it in about 2012, and you know you've been in this game for too long when trends keep coming back.
It's a staple for me every Halloween, not gonna lie.
It's very easy.
I bash out very quick and it's this.
100%. And if you can learn to do skulls really quickly, then Halloween for you is safe for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Alright, cool. So all I've been doing here is I've just added some more shading so you can see that there is some more contour going in, the illusion's starting to like be a little bit stronger. If you are one of the lovely individuals who also has the black eyeshadow as well, you can now go in and deepen that when it goes closer to the edge. And if not, then please feel free to try to use either the eyeliner pencils that we have, or you can also dry brush some of the paint. So don't feel like you've got no choice on how to do it all. Just try out some little bits. I'm just taking some of that black eyeshadow, and hopefully you can see how that's added a bit more contrast. I think for me, one of the things that's really important when it comes to doing creative makeup is trying to enhance contrast. So you want to enhance shadows, and using a black eyeshadow, I've never run through anything more in my life than black eyeshadow.
Black and white eyeshadow, literally my most bought thing. So right now I'm just adding like random shadows across the face in any which order I see fit that I think will look good, and also to chisel my non-existent jawline. This means it's more than what you're used to.
Thank you, I made it myself. What I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be taking one of the eyeliner pencils that we have, and I just want to remind you guys that any of the products that's not on the plate today, because that would be a little bit difficult, are free for you to take home. You can take home the brushes and you can take home the eyeshadows, and I encourage you to do so because they can be a little bit expensive. What I'm going to be doing now with the eyeliner pencil is I'm going to be sketching in some teeth. When it comes to teeth, I wouldn't overthink it, and the reason why is sometimes when you draw teeth, you can make them spiky, you can make them really, really like, you can move them around, you can make them wider if you wanted to, but generally the thing that's going to sell it a little bit more is if you go from the corner of your mouth and then you draw a line as if it's going upwards so slightly. It's really easy to draw the teeth as if they're going in a straight line across your face, but if you were to do something like this, like this, you can see that they kind of bend backwards. You can see they bend backwards a little bit. So you want to emulate that, and you can see that because when we do skulls, you can just poke around at your own face and see how you want to sketch it out and draw it properly.
I always have about 10 million reference photos of like actual skulls, or even if I'm not doing like a scientifically accurate one. And I also have a fridge magnet that I keep on like my little plant pot that I use to keep my brushes in, because I don't like spending lots of money on necessary things. And I literally have like a little skull magnet, and I just use that as a reference. It's like the best free thing I've ever got in a mail.
I just like skull.
So handy. I love that for you. I want to be as free flowing for you.
Actually, I think I've relegated it to my bathroom. Well, I do have one.
And I really like using the flat edges and just dipping the very like pointy bit of that brush just into the eyeshadow, just to get like a nice clean edge and then sort of blend down from there. can't stay on one section for too long because I'm easily bored. So I do it in no apparent order, so do as I say, not as I do.
Okay, cool. So all I'm doing right at the moment is I'm just taking the pencils and I'm just making sure that the lines are really sharp and they have enough contrast. So I'm just going over the edges and deepening some of those.
I'm laughing at myself.
Fantastic. So I think what I'm going to start to do now is I'm just going to take a really small amount of black on the a small amount of water on the brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the black paint too. Oh, and just a tip for those of you who want to do any makeup as well. If you ever make a mistake on one side of your face and you do not know how to correct it, and you feel like it's getting worse and you don't have time, I know it sounds unhinged, but make the exact same mistake on the other side of your face, and then it kind of looks like no one knows. I have used that technique many times. Whenever I do these makeup looks as well, a really hot topic that always comes up is like, are you gonna die? No. James Bond is not a documentary, but I'm very glad that so many of you guys have seen Goldfinger. That's so lovely. But no, generally as well, when it comes to removing the makeup, as long as you remove it and make sure that your face is clean afterwards, if you don't have any sensitive skin or anything, then you should be fine. Makeup's come a long way.
Is that like a question you get asked?
Oh my god, no, at least like 12 times a day. If you don't believe me, you should check my YouTube comments.
I try not to lurk in my
I don't. I can't look at them.
I live in fear.
Alright, all I'm doing now is just filling in all those other areas that I wanted to be black.
I'm just using the pencil as well as like a very pointy brush just to bring the face paint up so I can get a bit more of an exact shape. That's the word I'm looking for.
shape.
Just exact. Yeah. Yes, makeup, good.
We're all good here. It's been a long day.
It really has.
Yeah, it's been a good day. But I hope you guys have also had a fantastic day.
I, for one, just spent 4 hours painting Warhammer and didn't realise the time. And then I realised, I was like, oh, I really should go to that panel.
How did you find Warhammer painting today?
Very therapeutic, I must say.
Are you converted?
Maybe. It was just the same people coming back around like, oh, you're still here? I was like, haha.
Good one, yes.
Yes, I am. And that's why I've not dipped my toes into streaming yet, because I just sit in silence when I hyperfixate. I don't think it would be very entertaining. And then I'd have a meltdown halfway through my makeup, like always, like, I hate it. It's awful.
It's tough though, isn't it? And especially when we're filming at the same time to do online creating videos. It is quite a lot to do. Because Tiff and I do work full-time doing makeup content online, and while that's very, very lovely, it's very, very fun, it is quite difficult. I mean, Tiff, you were telling me the other day that for every video that goes out, you've edited the same one about 9 times.
Yeah, like different versions. I don't know which one's best. And then the one I'm like, that one was awful. I'm like, maybe I should just post that one too. And that one will always do really well. And I'm like, but what about my baby that has got the week editing?
What about the other one? So every time you see a video of Tiff's go on the internet, know there was 9 others. They didn't make the cut.
Yeah, know that I harass everyone I know and love in a group chat like, hey, which edit do you like best? And I'm like, what's the difference? I'm like, one of them's a second longer. God, I just didn't watch it enough times.
Well, these haters, they don't get it.
I'm like that meme from The Office. It's like, is it The Office or is it Parks and Rec? It's like, tell me again, those are the same picture.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I missing? Oh no, it's laughing. It's embarrassing.
Oh, I didn't do it.
No, it's gone.
You can see. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, no, it's gone. Why does that happen? Like when you prepare for it? It's filling time. I'd be an awful man.
Don't deny us what we deserve. Alright, all I'm doing now is I'm just taking a little bit of the grey eyeshadow and I'm just really lightly adding in some of this grey eyeshadow around the edge around here. The reason why is because I've already painted the whites, so I'd like to try and make sure that has a highlight by essentially doing the reverse and shading the other side grey.
And for the teeth, I'm doing a very fun portion where I have to try and figure out where the original outline is. Maybe I should have made it a bit darker.
That is the difficult part. I sketch mine out and then I paint a base over it. And just in case anyone else feels like me, we also do the same thing, whereas like, where's the original line that I spent 9 hours sketching out earlier? It happened to me when I did the Sistine Chapel. I was looking at it and I was like, I don't remember where Adam's leg was. I ain't got a clue. I don't know. Maybe she just took it out for one. I
Casually bring it up like, oh, I'm actually painting the Sistine Chapel. Like, I don't know.
I know, it sounds like a humble brag. I honestly, the worst part about it was it genuinely was just a random Tuesday.
Did you do that around the time of Code died?
Luckily no. Luckily no, I didn't. I nearly painted Ghost. You know Ghost? Mad Ghost. They sent me a PR package and I was like, oh my god.
I'm jealous.
And I realised that at that point was a very bad time to do a makeup look which could be released. I'll put that on hold. Maybe I'll do it when I get back. I'll do it when I get back. At the time it was a bit, it did do something right, it was too soon.
I can't believe Trisha Paytas' baby is going to be Code. That might have been a bit niche.
I've done this to every panelist I've ever worked with.
No, I'm not doing
At least I'm consistent.
I'm not working with you again, that's it. Jamie.
Alright, wonderful. So, I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at the moment. So, what I'm going to do while Tiff continues on with her makeup is I'm just going to love that. Love everything about that. What I'm going to do,
wow.
I know! Freestyle.
That's unreal.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk around, and if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. But apart from that, feel free to just keep on painting.
I'll be here for the next 8 hours, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
What do you have like for tips like for me?
Great work, guys.
Okay, oh yeah, I'll say right now. So is it more of a sense of like, because you don't want to look in the mirror very long, but you still want to wear makeup?
Yeah, like I still like it.
Okay, so what kind of makeup do you like?
I'm really like the smoky eye, stuff like that.
Got you. Okay, so something that you can do, which I think is really helpful, is you can do things like taking like bright colours, which are probably a good start, or like if you like doing smoky eyes, you might find like in those palettes you might already have like a shimmer. Something that you can start with until you slowly gain some more confidence is if you take a white shimmer and then you just pop it on the inner eye corners, then it makes your eyes seem a little bit brighter, and then you can pop that away and then you don't have to worry about it. Another thing that you can do is when you see certain palettes, sometimes what they have is they just have a certain colour that looks a little bit more like natural, but it's got some kind of shimmer to it. One of the things that I do, and it's so quick, and I've kind of done it here today, so I've got my eye primer there, so like I'm struggling a little bit. I just rub it on my finger and then I just rub it on my eye and then I'm done. Like I do not do anything else with that. But when it comes to like what you're mentioning about like smoky eyes, that would take a little bit more time, but things that you could do. When it comes to a smoky eye, I think sometimes they can be difficult to get right. Because it's like you're just putting straight black on there. It's a lot, and if you don't get it like blended right, it looks like a smudge. So what I tend to do is I learn how to do smoky eye by changing out the black and the grey for browns. And then I started out with browns because, I mean, if they don't necessarily blend out too well, then it's not too noticeable. So maybe start out with doing some browns first, and then when you get a bit more confidence, then you can move into doing some more like black. So that's what I would recommend doing. And I think, do you think that's something that you can do?
I can apply it. Thank you.
Yeah?
So that I can at least enjoy myself.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. Another thing, if you want to do something really creative, but you don't want to look in the mirror for too long as well, you see how like there's loads of like brown bits here? I've taken paint and I've rubbed the toothbrush in it, and then I've just splattered it. And sometimes I've done that with like reds, or I've done that with like rainbow, and I've just flicked it across this area, and it looks really, really nice. But it has taken me like less than like 2 minutes. So if that's something that you're still not confident looking in the mirror, you can quickly flick on some of that paint. It's still really bright, it's really colourful, but it feels to me as if like maybe doing small quick looks like that would help before you get confidence to do it.
Yeah, to actually stand there.
Yeah, stand in there and do some more. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
That sounds very good.
Today's makeup was not necessarily the best quality as well. We had shipment issues.
Yeah,
so it was a bit of a shame, but we've done the best that we can.
No, definitely.
At the end of the day, as long as you guys have had fun with it,
Yeah.
honestly,
No,
it
you
was great.
really did a great job, like giving us something here. Because I remember last year, it was amazing. Just one on the Sunday.
Just always looking at you guys.
Yeah, you
Stop. Yeah, I wish it was the same this one, but we tried it. I was like, oh my god, what can we give them? But
No, I
I
understand.
understand that you guys are like,
100%. Yeah,
and feel free to take any bits home with you as well. Like, just chuck it down and like take the take off the edge. And I know you boys are very doing as well.
Yeah.
If you want to wait a little bit, here's some more makeup out. I know it's like
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
slightly shade and then like drag it away.
Yeah, it is.
As long as you guys have fun.
Yes.
That's supposed to be sorry. As long as you guys have fun, that's supposed to be fun. Okay, please. Feel free to take it. Except for Noah's taking this much. Hi, how have you found it? You look amazing.
We did our best.
Did you see my best? No, it's not. Yeah, as long as you guys have had fun today. Yeah. Have you done makeup, like, have you done creative makeup and like face painting like on yourself before?
No.
No, first time? Is it your first time and you look this phenomenal? Oh my god, save yourself for the rest of us, can you?
Yeah, I just have a question, like, regarding like all the shades, because you're doing like very, how to say that, like, you know, very smoothly, like radiant. Like, what do you apply? You apply this, right? Or like, how was it? Okay.
That was great. You can keep that one unopened. I think that one looks like it's grey. So what I could do, and it's not going to work out too well on the paper.
Yeah, or like this one, black, white. That one probably is grey. This one is grey.
Okay, so you can like pack a little bit on the brush.
Just so that we're only walking around rather than like this with no context, like there's nobody else to look us down why. Also makes me feel a little bit better about getting on board transport back to my hotel like this. I hope to learn experiencing direction.
When it comes to doing the edges, you want to start moving it. Obviously, this is probably easy for you. You want to start doing it really lightly. So here, I'm pressing quite heavily. And then here, I'm pressing really lightly. So the pressure at which you're actually applying the makeup is really important. So you can see how it's starting to fade out really lightly. So I'm pressing hard here, and I'm not pressing as hard here. Yeah? Okay, cool. So that makes sense for the grey. And then what I did was I took a black, and then I took a black, and then I kind of started from the beginning again here, but I didn't drag it out as far. Okay. So you want to start there again, and then just keep high pressure here, dragging it across there. Like that, you see what I mean? So then as you keep doing this, when you blend different colours together, it will slowly start to create more of a gradient, and that's how you can get things to blend. Oh my god, aren't the best brushes because it's shipping, it's an incident we have. But I'm sure you can start to see how that can start to work. Yeah. So generally when you're like packing stuff and blending stuff together, sometimes doing little circles can work.
Look at how yours looks like. And look at whatever.
And as you can kind of see, sometimes it honestly just takes quite a long time before you get the desired outcome. And so sometimes I think people don't necessarily always realise how long.
Is anyone keeping this makeup on to go out for like drinks and stuff after?
It's
I'm far too lazy to remove it for one, and number two, I feel like we'll work too hard on it. And also, can I just say, I love the fact that you've gone down to your neck. It looks so
We're getting there.
And we were like, okay, you did it so fast, so maybe we can also do it. For some reason,
I know, it's my fault. I always run through things, and then I'm like, what happens to everyone?
That was great.
Yeah. But I mean, it's slow, but it's generally like just keep blending at it, keep working at it, and then you'll slowly get a bit more of a blend in there. So you can start with a grey, and then if you wanted to, you could go in with like a black, and then like push the black, and then start again, and then you see what I mean. So when it comes to like blending different colours, so let's pretend that these two colours today. Let's pretend it was like blue and green. When it comes to blending colours, it's the same idea, but when it comes to the middle part, you have to make sure that like they blend nicely together. Sometimes what people find is they're trying to blend something like red eyeshadow and green eyeshadow, and they're like, why does it look brown? It's because when you mix red and green, it makes brown. So you've essentially just made brown in the middle. So you have to find a medium colour. So perhaps like the medium colour in that instance could probably be something like yellow. So then you would put yellow in the middle, blend the red into the yellow, blend the yellow into the green. You see And so that's how you would get it to work. But if you ever do like colourful makeup, etc., and you like, and that's why you need to find a medium colour, and you can look at the colour wheel to double check why, and if you look at why they what colour would make when those two colours are mixed and it's brown, that's why it looks like magic. And so take that. But yeah, overall, see what I mean? It's just slow. Yeah. We'll get there in the end. But it's literally just keep blending at it. And yes, I'm a little bit quicker because I've done it for quite a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, overall, you're definitely on the right track, absolutely. And I think I genuinely think you're doing an amazing job. If you want to keep going, it's just like a lot of this, a lot of blending, just like that.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, I just feel myself.
Hi, chat. You an artist?
Yeah.
I can tell. You don't even
I don't do makeup though.
Oh, but it's absolutely transferable.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, like same kind of vibe, same kind of idea. I think that is great. But yeah, I mean, like, feel free to take away all of like the makeup and stuff. I just love the underground.
Yeah. Well, like the teachers come around.
Well, how have you found it today? You guys enjoyed it?
Yeah.
As long as you guys have enjoyed it.
Some of these are really soft, actually.
Yeah, a lot of the brushes I use are honestly they're just really cheap ones because I'm throwing paint all over the place. Like I don't need to put like expensive ones. I did used to have expensive brushes before. So they survive. Not my wrap, right? So
I think I was literally using like one of those pound shop like kids paintbrushes for the longest time.
yeah. And as long as it doesn't hurt when you apply it,
It's like I don't want to ruin my regular makeup brushes with
Oh, yeah.
this kind of stuff.
honestly, I get some like cheaper makeup brushes for the really cheap stuff, and that's what the ones that I use for like slinging paint all over the place. And they work just fine. Similar to what we've done today. But feel free to take a brush home today, and then
I just feel like someone's Baldur's Gate 3 character.
you feel like a Baldur's Gate 3 character. Who doesn't want to feel like a Baldur's Gate 3 character? Okay?
It's my first time doing makeup.
Oh my god, I love it. I love that you created the creativity. It was fantastic. How have you found it? Was it fun?
Yeah.
It was fun. That's all that matters at the end of the day, as long as you have fun. And again, feel free to take away some of the makeup and stuff today. Leave another one at home.
Where'd you get your belt from?
Etsy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got it. Look at me, Bendy.
Oh, I thought it was
I
like
thought
a
the
solid
same, and
piece.
I received it, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, it's Bendy. Isn't that great?
Oh, so it's not like cutting.
It's like latex.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then it's just cut. Oh no, it's totally fine. And then it's trying to trash it. It's like a little water.
Oh wow.
Easy.
I'm obsessed.
It's not even gonna like dig into your tummy or something. Put it in like a cake.
Like a silicone mold thing.
And then it's also like easily ready.
Yes. My
Cosplay hat.
Oh my god, there we go. I'm a...
I want to make silicone molds so That's not yeah.
I mean, we know the battle.
How's everything been?
That type of thing.
Yeah.
It was good. And then you get halfway through. He was perfectly sprinted up that road. There was definitely some of that.
I didn't know it was still being streamed. I looked at the back and I was like, okay, so go, and I was like, and then I went in my Discord afterwards and there's a gif of it and I was like, no! It's being like, great.
I'm just surprised how quickly we done the steps.
Bye everyone. You did a great job. I'm gonna go. I was actually quite nice. I got really good place to trade for that. Oh, it's time for overtime. That's great. I love it. Thank you.
We enjoyed being in the back.
It feels weird. I don't think we can accept this is fine. I feel like it's taking your
At first we
At first we were like, is that Mel?
She's like, we're doing this, fine. And I was like, just do what you want.
We keep walking and looking down. It's like, oh, we're standing like
There
that.
she is.
Where you're like,
Literally stepping on me this entire time.
well, there's going to be a couple of pictures. I think we'll be the odd one. It's literally 3 or something.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realise how many there were. I thought there were only going to be like 1 or 2 outside. No, I didn't realise there was everywhere. I didn't even get... Do you know what's the good thing I was doing this? Is like, I was watching the opening ceremony from backstage afterwards before I was getting back on. And I was sat there and like, my face would come up again and I'd be like, what? And then like, the staff would be like, oh my god, look who it is. And it happened to another ambassador where you see this reaction. I saw my reaction to her and she just went, what? So it just is not really used to it. And then also, I don't know if you saw the replay, I had died. And I was like, it was like showcasing friendly in like this like arena, and I was looking at it, I was like, I haven't even made it. You showed a clip where I've already dead. I was like, oh my god, of course. But oh well, the replay stuff was fun.
My favourite photo is when as you walk out the left of the window, just because it's like it's not lined up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Your eyes like here.
Yeah, exactly. I remember looking at it being like, you know what?
We We did spend a couple of minutes looking at all when you're like doing a backhand, and we were like, how's she doing that?
Oh my god, that one, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I really hate that they used that one. I held that pose for what felt like 15 minutes. But what felt 15 minutes felt like 15 hours of my life. I was telling you I had 1 hour sleep. And so I was like, they gave me this like mood board. They were like, hey, like, so we're gonna like recreate some of this stuff. And I was like, what if? Hear me out. And then he was like, what do you want to do? And so I was like, hear me out. And I just threw it back. And then he just started screaming. He was taking photos. And he was like, oh yeah, that happened. Did you want it? And I was like,
Here you ran the photo shoot. Like you
opportunity, and I'm so sorry.
She turned passive. She was like that. I think she needs a wig. They wouldn't believe I got a degree in makeup.
I'm pretty sure she was. I would believe it. Everyone looks like a like egg.
I'm more like you. I'm more like you. I just go for it.
What's that? You can't tell.
I say finish, but I would sit here for 3 hours, so I'm going to stop myself.
Come on down!
Yeah, like I kept using different types of materials just to make sure that sometimes it's a little bit more like shadowy and sometimes it's like intense.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly all it is.
I have a question. Okay, so we've done this part of the face, but then there's the second part. What kind of color would you recommend? Like, I wouldn't think like a dark red lipstick, for example, because then it seems a bit macabre as well. So what would you recommend for the other part of the face, for the tone of it?
It can be anything that you want to go for. What I would probably recommend doing though in this instance is like, you'd probably be wearing this with clothes. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So like, what kind of outfit are you like pairing it with, and then do the makeup on this side to pair with the outfit as well.
Oh, I see.
So if your outfit does have like bits of red in it, so say you have like little bits of red sequins or something, there's enough like then you can absolutely you could do a red lip, or you could also do like a red inner eye corner here. Because it's not the rest of your outfit. So that's what I would like to consider as well. Yeah. So you can find stuff like that, but I can see what you mean. Being like, this feels like the loud thing, and you're adding more loud stuff in here.
Yeah,
everything.
I wasn't sure if you're supposed to. Well, not supposed to, but yeah.
Well, there's no rules, but that's what if you're like sat there and you're like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
And so you're wearing it for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I know at Halloween you're wearing some kind of like funky dress or something. Then I would pair this side with the dress, and then have like the skeleton side on one side. And then that's how I would go about doing it. Okay. Or like the hair, you could put like hair accessories in and then match it.
Oh yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah. You can really mix and match. Yeah.
That's why skulls are really great because they're so customizable.
Yeah.
But there's no reason as well why you couldn't put the red here, but then you can put like red blood coming down like this tears, like coming down. It would kind of like blend together. That's why they're so great to do. You can just play around.
Oh, I see.
Or you can put like a red contact lens in if you want to do something like that. And finding ways like that.
Yeah.
And make it look good. And then there's no reason. That's what I would look to do if you're feeling unsure.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. No, that was it. Yeah. Thank you. Lovely look.
Yeah, thank you. Was it good? Was it fun?
It was. I think I learned a lot. This was my first try.
Oh my god! Look at you! I think it's perfect. I know, especially look. Oh, the nose. Okay, so I can see what you mean where you feel like maybe you didn't want to bring it in too much. But honestly, like considering this is the first step, look at the shading that you've done around each tooth. That's clearly taking you quite a lot of time, and I think you've done really well with that. Your phone battery is just like mine. But overall, yeah. And if you want to like even like compare like the difference here, like I love that you brought the jawline further forward because it makes so much sense to see it front on. Whereas in this one, it looks like you were trying to follow your actual anatomy. That's a great place to start, though, because that's how we all start. And then it's only really until you start taking photos of yourself that you can then start to realise, like, actually, I would need to bring it forward. So I think it just shows growth. Thank you, that's so lovely.
Oh yeah, it was from the whale and dolphin.
Oh my god, yes! Yes! They sent me that, I was like, I have the same match. We're basically twins. No one can tell us apart.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait and see.
How have you found it all good?
Yeah,
Really
it's been a while.
It's tricky at first, but I mean, you saw my first attempt at everything. So like, I think that's really important. As long as you have fun, that's the most important thing. And I see you've already done it, but yes, absolutely take all of the
Okay.
turn around and see the ones behind you as well.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you for attending. Thank you.
Ik zal die van Shades ook meenemen, of ik denk dat hij die niet wilde hebben.
Oh, you can take a picture first? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the workshop. It was so much fun. I guess I'm gonna reach down during this day.
How are you? Oh my gosh, what happened?
So I dropped my bike on my way.